Welcome back, friends, to the home of all things ballroom dance. Today's hot tea. I'm going to disclose some of the politics I have seen in the pro-am world in ballroom dance competition. Today I'm not talking about politics in terms of the judges' marks, though I have shared some previous videos on the shenanigans that can sometimes go on there. Today, I'm going to talk about the politics that might possibly affect you and your pro and the other students in your studio that come to that comp together, okay, guys? And this, basically here, I'm talking about favoritism, okay? So this can manifest itself in a number of ways. You know, maybe there's one student who gets a certain category or level that another student actually deserves. So for example, we saw this on the show Dancing Queens when Claudette was kind of replaced by Pooja, who in my opinion clearly was the weaker dancer. But suddenly, magically, why is Pooja his best Latin student entering that Latin category? Another way I've seen this manifest itself is in private lessons, okay? So maybe a pro will allow booking privates with one student at the comp and not another student at the comp. Playing favorites that way. Although most pros won't book privates at the comp, some do. And I have seen them on many occasions be willing to teach certain students and not seem to ever have the time to book other students. And obviously everyone wants a last minute lesson at that comp if they can finagle that. Just if anything to work out those nerves. Personally, I feel this is a really bad idea as a pro. Either offer it to everyone or don't offer it to everyone. Obviously, we have limited time slots and you would be spending the whole time at the comp teaching privates unless you put a limit on it. So in that case, I would tell my students in advance, hey, on this date at this time, I'm going to open up my schedule to first come, first serve. And just to offer some modicum of fairness, because you don't know who is working during that time and maybe can't respond right away, I would say, okay, I have a limit of 2 lessons a piece or something like that, okay? Depends on how many students you're bringing to that comp. But if you're a pro and you've taught some, refused some, I would be really interested to hear your justification for that in the comments, because maybe there's something I can't think of. I personally, in my world, can't think of a way that that's fair, but you know what? I'm sure there's an exception. I am but one professional ballroom dancer and ballroom teacher. Please share in the comments, or if you're too shy, you don't want your name associated with your comment, hey, send me a private message in Facebook Messenger and I will read that, and then I will share your comment anonymously, of course, on my channel. Any of you who have something you don't really want to say in public for any reason, you know what, shoot me a private message onto my Facebook page, just Sunny page, and I promise I will read it and respond there. Again, totally confidential. Okay, guys, won't reveal your name. Honestly, guys, I have seen amateur dancers partner dump their pro when this happens. Or at least, for lack of a better term, start cheating on them, you know, with other pros and taking with other pros behind their back. Because guess what? If you are sending a message to your student that you don't prioritize them, it is not realistic for me or reasonable or fair to assume and expect you to value me and prioritize me. So anyway, dislike, but I've seen it, okay? I think it puts you at great risk for losing a good student. And certainly any student that's willing to put in that hard work, investment of time and money to come compete with you at the comp, that's a valuable student, okay? So also, if your pro you've seen this happen with your pro teaching some, not others. I'd enjoy hearing that too. Okay, next. This can manifest itself in other ways. For example, always ending up sitting next to a certain student on the comp floor at that studio table. They are right, front and center with your pro in every dinner table, whether you're at the comp or out to a restaurant in a group together, okay? So I would say like positional favoring in the non-ballroom aspect, the social aspect of the competition. I've totally seen this happen, guys. Another way I've seen this manifest itself. Who gets the warm-up time? You know what? I've seen some students, they'll get half an hour up there on that practice floor, which is fabulous. I saw one pro fall over backwards to cater to this one student, and spent almost the whole comp either following her around like a puppy dog or up on that practice floor with her, catering to her needs, and threw his other students under a proverbial bus. I spend as much time in the ballroom as I can, and one of his students was standing by the floor. Her heat's minutes away, first heat in the morning. She's not warmed up, and she's like, "Have you seen so-and-so?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh, no, isn't your heat up?" She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "He did this to me yesterday too." Like, she did not even get a single warm-up dance. I felt so bad for her. And because I'm not her coach, I would love to help and just give her a little warm-up on the side, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And certainly the other pro, despite her not being there to perform his students, with his students and help them, I'm sure he would have had a bee in his craw had I helped her. So as a pro, I felt really powerless too. Even though, as a teacher, long-term teacher, I know many ballroom dancers. I'm happy to help for free, just for political reasons. I couldn't help her. I felt horrible. And sure enough, that McDouche rolled in like 1 minute before she had to walk on the comp floor and drag her around. Oh my gosh, my heart broke for her. But this does happen. I've seen it happen more than once, guys, okay? Very sad. Okay, next up. I have heard complaints from both pros and the pro-am students who go to the comp with that pro, that there is one student who commandeers all of their time and all of the conversation. Again, so this is more of a personal nature. They're walking to their hotel room. This person is just yabber, 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 holding on front and center and not giving anyone else an opening to enjoy their relationship with the coach. Because my opinion, part of that fun of being at the comp is you kind of get to know your coach and your students more on a personal level, just because you get more time with them. Usually we're booked up during the day, so we can't sit and tell you a story about this or that or the other because, we're doing a job. And we got to move on to our next student and focus on them as soon as we're done with you, just to be fair to the next student, prepare for that lesson and whatnot, okay? And honestly, guys, I have heard this complaint more from the professionals than I am from the pro-am students, which kind of surprises me. So that might be a shock to you as well. And how I've had it described to me is it feels a bit like being a rag doll, and you got one student pulling one arm, and you got another student pulling the other arm the opposite way, and you got another student pulling your hair, and oh my gosh. If that's you, just please be mindful to timeshare your pro with the other group in the posse that came there with him or her. Now, to be clear, I have never personally experienced this. I have come to many comps with multiple amateur students, and they've always been very respectful of my time, respectful of each other. No one's dominated my time. Some come to dinner with us, some don't. Some don't even want to sit at our table. I could care less. I don't want to make someone uncomfortable. If they just want to focus on the comp and not hear the rest of the table, yammer yammering, I get it. totally respect to you. You know, if you do want to talk to me, great. I've always had them be wonderful towards each other. So, hey, tell me another question for you pros or amateurs watching. Is this like a gender thing? Is this something that primarily only happens, this I'll say competition for favoritism with the follows, or does this happen in the leads too? Because I have never personally seen it with leads, and I've never personally experienced it myself. Thank heavens. I've always just been blessed with wonderful students. Oh my heavens. Okay, so I am once again over that 10-minute mark. Okay, I'm going to follow up with another video because I'm sure this is a problem that affects many of you. Hopefully not most of you, but you know what? If it does, share your story below because we would all appreciate hearing that and not feeling alone if we are amidst this problem. Okay, guys? So overall, DANCESPORT is fabulous. Prime is a great opportunity to kind of get your foot in the door in dance sport, you know, and learn the ropes and have an experienced person there with you to guide you along the way. And even on the dance floor, really finagle your body into looking your best and getting those prettiest pictures. And you know what, guys? Hey, good pictures are super helpful because you can use those later to attract a good amateur partner if that's the direction your partnership you want to take your dancing. And I do encourage people to do that if it's an option for you. I also understand how difficult it is to find an amateur partner. So if not, Pro-Am's a great option as well, just a lot more expensive. So anyway, guys, if you found that to be interesting, hey, hit the like button. And if you're interested in all things ballroom dance, I do share weekly kind of dance tips, comp tips. Usually my videos are geared to more experienced students. I mean, you're welcome to subscribe because I also share daily, I'll say, cultural topics and background on that from the perspective of a very long-term old dancer, because that culturally really doesn't change over the years, you know. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you first thing in the morning with another hot topic, and I will post a follow-up on today's video so you can hear more stories. Okay, friends, have a fabulous day. See you in the morning.